Today in this lesson, we shall learn about physical quantities. Physics is the science where we study about the nature. Okay.
We study about all the nature's phenomena.
Exactly.
All the laws that govern the natural phenomena.
Yeah, basically it is
the science of nature.
Science of nature.
Yeah.
We study about all the natural phenomena.
Yeah.
Okay. So physical quantities. So in order to understand or in order to explain physics very well, we require some quantities that is called physical quantities.
Mm-hmm.
Physics does two things. Physics explain the natural phenomena, all the phenomena physics explain, and also physics measure. Okay.
Yeah.
In order to measure and to explain physics very well, so we use some quantities that is called physical quantities. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have written the definition. Could you please read? Yeah.
So it is a quantity that can be measured by an instrument,
and by the means of which we describe the laws of the physical world.
Yeah, great. So now you got the point about what is physical quantities.
Yeah.
Okay, anything that can be measured and can be used to explain or to describe physics, the laws of physics or the physical world. Okay.
So is air a physical quantity?
What? I don't think so, because it's a matter clearly.
Yeah, you see, but the speed of air, the velocity of air, density of air, the speed, density, velocity, these are physical quantities. Because can we measure velocity? Answer is yes. Can we measure speed?
Yes.
Yeah. Density, volume, these things we can measure. These are the physical quantities. Okay, and that is also we are using this one in order to understand physics better. Okay.
Yeah.
All the physical quantities, they have two parts. You can see one is numerical value, another one is its unit. Okay. For example, if I tell about mass, is mass a physical quantity? Answer is
yes.
When you are discussing about mass, for example, if I write 5 kilogram, okay, you can see here 5 is what?
The numerical value?
Yeah, 5 is the numerical value, and the kilogram, this kg, what I'm writing here, this is the unit. Anything, any physical quantities, if you write, it will have what? Two parts. One is what? Numerical part, another one is unit. Can you give me some example? When you're measuring distance, can you? So we are, for example, suppose I'm writing 10 meter.
Yeah.
10 is what?
Is the numerical value and meter is the unit?
Great. Yeah. So similarly, for example, if I write what? If I write, tell me something.
Let's say 10 minutes.
Yeah, time. So time is a physical quantities? Yes. Time is a physical quantities? Yeah. Time is the physical quantity. And if you write 10 minutes, yeah, 10 minutes. So 10 is what?
The
numerical value, and minute is the unit. So all the physical quantities, they will have numerical value and units. Okay, but certain physical quantities will be coming in physics while we are learning, so they may not have the unit. So it will be coming, I will be explaining you that time. So for example, refractive index, it has no unit because it is a ratio. Okay, so there are some physical quantities will be coming, so which may not have what? Unit, only the numerical value, because it will be a ratio. Okay. Now, I have given one example here. You can see this velocity. It is a physical quantity, and it has numerical part, and it has its unit. Okay, all the physical quantities will have what? Two parts, numerical part and
a
unit.
Yeah.
Okay, so now if the question comes, what is unit? I have written here. Can you read, please?
The measurement of any physical quantity involves a comparison with a current, with a certain basic,
chosen for the internationally accepted
reference standard known as unit. There are different systems of units.
Okay, so the more detail about the units we'll be learning as we're going ahead. All right, So we have some system of measurement. Okay, you can see here we have one system that is CGS, where the length is measured in centimeter, mass is measured in the unit of gram, and time is in second.
Yes.
Similarly, we have another one FPS. Okay, so it is foot, pound, and second. Similarly, we have another one MKS,
Yeah.
that the length is measured with meter. Similarly, mass,
is measured in kilograms.
kilogram, and time.
In seconds.
Okay, now the latest one we have SI unit, Standard International Unit. So we'll be learning the detail about now. You know, all the physical quantities is classified into three categories. Okay, the first one is what?
The fundamental quantities.
Fundamental physical quantities.
Yeah.
And the next one is
Derived quantities.
derived physical quantities.
Yes.
And the last one is
Supplementary quantity.
yeah. So basically this classification depends upon either you want its dependency or you want its direction. Okay, if we are discussing about direction, the physical quantities can be classified into two categories. One is scalar, another one is
Vector.
Yeah, great, you know that one. Scalar physical quantity and vector physical quantity. Okay, so these are depending upon the direction and the magnitude. Okay, but if you are learning about this is what on the dependency, so it can be what three types: fundamental physical quantities, derived physical quantities, and supplementary physical quantities. So when you are discussing about fundamental physical quantities, you know there are some physical quantities that directly, now let us understand the detail about fundamental physical quantities. Okay, so can you read this one, the definition I have written here, please? Yes,
Yeah.
please.
So the quantities that are independent of all other quantities and do not require the help of any other physical quantities for their definition are known as fundamental quantities. There are 7 fundamental quantities.
Yeah, so the physical quantities, are you listening to me?
Yes.
Yeah, the physical quantities which doesn't require any other support. For example, if I ask you to measure this the length of this pencil,
Yes.
okay, so you can bring directly the measuring what do you call this one,
Tape.
The ruler.
measuring tape or ruler, something you are using.
Yeah.
So directly you can measure this one. Okay, similarly if I ask you to measure the mass, okay, directly you can bring that, what do you call this,
Weighing
Weighing machine.
weighing machine. Yeah, you can bring and you can find out its mass.
Yeah.
Okay, so directly we can use the instrument and we can find out its measurement like length, mass. Okay, so to measure the length we do not require any other thing, directly the instrument. But
Okay.
if I ask you to find out the area, okay, if I ask you to find out the area of any given shape, so in that case what will happen, for example, if it is rectangular, if it is rectangle, you have to measure the length first with help of what? The ruler or the meter scale, something.
Yeah.
And you have to measure the breadth.
Yeah.
Okay, after that you have to multiply this, measure length and breadth, then you'll get the area.
Yes.
Okay, so we don't use any instrument to find out the area. Okay, so basically the fundamental quantities we can directly use the instrument and find out the measurement.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, we can use the instrument
Instrument.
and find out the
Measurement.
measurement. That is called fundamental physical quantities.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you know, in olden days the story was something different, but in the modern science, so we have 7 fundamental physical quantities. Okay, and I have written here the name of the fundamental physical quantities and what is the SI unit we are using and what the symbol you are using. So I will be asking you, for example, for length, what you are using?
The units are meters and the symbol is M.
Yeah, similarly for mass.
It's kilogram and kg is the symbol.
Yeah. Similarly for time.
The unit is second and the symbol is S.
Yeah, electric current.
The unit is ampere and the symbol is A.
Great. And temperature.
Yeah, so the unit is Kelvin and the symbol is a capital K.
Great. and the amount of substance, it is mole.
Yeah.
Okay. And similarly, luminous intensity, it is candela, and the symbol is small c and small d. These are the 7 fundamental physical quantities which is accepted universally. Okay, in all the countries, they are using these 7 fundamental physical quantities. And apart from these, if any physical quantities, any other physical quantities comes, that with help of these physical quantities, that will be explained. Okay, so that physical quantities are called derived quantities, means physical quantities.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah. So the physical quantities that can be derived by suitable multiplication or division of different powers of fundamental quantities are known as derived quantities.
okay, for example, if I want to add one more page here. Okay, so for example, if I ask you area. Okay, so area we cannot measure directly with help of any instrument. We have to measure the length and we have to measure the breadth, then we have to multiply.
Yep.
Okay, so basically length and breadth is also length, breadth is also distance. No,
Yeah.
it is also
Yeah.
distance. So that is why it will be what, 2 times L square. So if you are measuring this one with meter and this is also with meter, then the unit will be what, meter square. Okay, so that is why area is not a fundamental physical quantities. Okay, it is a derived. How it is derived from the length.
Yeah.
Okay, similarly, if I find what I'll find, can you, okay, as, for example, speed.
Yeah.
If I write about speed, how do you find speed? Speed, you have to find out the distance and it is divided by time. Okay, you know distance is a fundamental physical quantity and time is also a fundamental physical quantity. Okay, so when it is divided, then we are getting what? Speed. And speed is not fundamental and it is derived physical quantities. But your question will be there, to measure speed we have speedometer.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
we have speedometer.
Yeah.
Speedometer is the instrument which is used to measure
The speed.
speed.
Yeah.
So then speed is a scalar, fundamental physical quantity
Yeah.
or derived physical quantity. Okay,
Yeah.
basically it is derived
Derived.
because it is the division of what, distance and time. So distance, time, what will happen? Meter per second,
Second.
its unit.
Yeah.
Okay, there are many examples will be coming, but one thing you always remember, so we have only these 7 fundamental physical quantities. Okay, you can remember these 7 fundamental physical quantities, and apart from these physical quantities, any other physical quantity comes, that all will be what? Derived physical quantities.
Yeah.
Okay, and I told you 3 types of physical quantities. Can you
Yeah.
remember?
Oh yeah.
Now we understood about fundamental physical quantities,
Yeah.
and we understood about derived physical quantities, and the last one is supplementary physical quantities. Supplementary physical quantities. Okay, so some writers in some books, these supplementary physical quantities you will find together with derived, but some books you will find separate. Okay,
Yeah.
you know, in physics we have 2 supplementary physical quantities.
Yeah.
Okay, one is plane angle, another one is solid angle. Okay, the plane angle, the unit we are using, it is radian, and its symbol we are using what? RAD.
Already.
And for the solid angle we are using steradian, and its symbol is what?
SR.
SR. Okay, so for example, in the case of plane angle, so when 2 lines or 2 planes, okay, you can see this is one plane, this is one plane. When they join together, I have shown you the picture here also. So this is what? The symbol for what? Plane angle. When 2 planes, okay, so this when 2 planes, you can see this angle will be the plane angle. but in the case it is a plane angle. Okay.
Yeah.
When you're discussing about solid angle, for example, you know, it's conical shape, means all this three-dimensional you have to imagine. You know the cone ice cream.
Yeah.
Okay, cone ice cream you're eating. You know that the tip of the cone.
Yeah.
So there one angle will be there in all the direction, three direction.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, this is your solid angle. So this is your supplementary physical quantities. Okay, so the basic things about physical quantities we learned today.
Yeah.
Okay, and the more detail we'll be learning in the next class.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next class. Okay.
Yes, alright.
So I hope you enjoyed the class.
Oh yeah, we did.
Okay. So the more detail we will meet once again in the next class.
Okay.
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 Goodbye. Thank you.